Thor Ragnarok is a fun, colorful, sci-fi action superhero movie, the latest in a long line from Marvel Studios. And some say the best. But I think there's one possibly movie-breaking question that we have to answer. This is Good Smart Words About Movies, and I'm Matt D. Wilson. With most of Marvel's movie superheroes, it's not hard to tell how they do what they do. Iron Man builds his suits in his garage. Captain America was given some medicine that made him great at Frisbee. Black Widow went through intense assassin training in Soviet Russia back when she was about 3 years old. I think the Hulk drank some bad soda. And Hawkeye ripped out a hawk's eye and made it his own. But Thor is different. Thor is supposed to be a god. If you've seen Thor Ragnarok, you know that that's true. Like in this part, where he makes a bunch of lightning come up around him. Or here, where he throws a hammer that it would be impossible for any human to lift. Look at that thing. How did they even make that? How did they get that into a movie? I mean, nobody could lift that hammer. Only a god could. It's beyond clear. And yet, even though we're supposed to believe that Thor is a god, I've done some research, and I have found it is entirely likely, and more than probable, that Thor, in these movies, is in fact a human being. My first clue came when I went to the Internet Movie Data Blog, one of my all-time favorite websites. I wanted to learn more about this actor Thor, who was in Thor Ragnarok, and what else he had been in. When I searched for Thor's name, I found the movies, and I found a few actors named Thor, but none of them were actually in any of the Thor films. This was confusing to me. So I looked up the actual Thor movies from Marvel, and discovered something. Thor isn't played by the real Thor. Thor is played by an actor named Chris Hemsworth. That alone's enough to raise suspicion. Chris Hemsworth is anything but an Asgardian name, but I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. I went to my next secret source, Wikipedia.com, and I looked up Chris Hemsworth. Now, here I found some truly astonishing and surprising information. Is this so-called god Chris Hemsworth from, say, I don't know, Asgard? Or at least from Norway? Or Niflheim? Or any of those famous places? No, he's from some city in Australia called Melbourne. I've never even heard of it. And it certainly doesn't seem like anywhere a god would be from. At this point, I really had to roll up my sleeves and go to one of my big secret sources, whitepages.com. I looked up the name Chris Hemsworth to see if I could get in touch and find out directly from the source what just was going on here. 3 names came up, one of which was in Los Angeles, California, which didn't seem right, one in Eustis, Florida, and one in Antioch, Tennessee. I called the 2 that had phone numbers attached to them. The one in Los Angeles didn't, and I didn't need to check with him anyway. They both denied the fact that they are gods, and also they denied that they are in any such movie from Marvel Studios, so I was kind of back to square one. I would play the audio recording from those calls, but both of them hung up before I could ask for permission to record. After that, I tried the next best thing and searched for Thor on whitepages.com. That yielded more than 150 results, but most of the names did not seem Norwegian or Scandinavian in any way. They seemed more Asian. I did find one name that seemed like it was pretty good. This was John Thor. There was also a P Thor, which I thought was worth a try. You know, maybe they were trying to throw me off the scent. When I called both of them, they said that they get too many calls at their houses to begin with, and that I should never call again. I deeply suspect that one of these people was in fact Chris Hemsworth, just ducking my questions. But until we get some direct, clear answers, we can only guess what on earth the filmmakers of Thor Ragnarok were thinking in casting a human being instead of a god in this role, and how on earth that human being was able to pick up that hammer. Look at that fucking hammer. It's gigantic. How did he pick that up? What is happening here? That's Cate Blanchett. I know she's a person. How's she holding the hammer? What is going on here? I mean, I think it's a pretty good movie, but these are real questions and we have to answer them. As long as Thor Ragnarok is in theaters, and on through when it is available on Blu-ray and VOD and all the other ways I'm going to buy it, because I'm going to buy it every possible way I can, these questions will be a blight on what is otherwise a great, great movie. Thanks for watching Good Smart Words About Movies. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.